I never thought my own parents would try to destroy me. But there I stood, holding a manila envelope from Superior Court of Washington, King County, my hands shaking as I read the words, Petition for Guardianship, Incompetency Determination. Petitioners, Harold Morrison and Patricia Morrison. Subject, Sylvester James Morrison. Me. My parents were asking a judge to declare me mentally incompetent. I had just seen them last week. We had dinner. Everything seemed fine. I had a good job, owned my house outright, paid my bills on time. What possible reason could they have? Before I tell you how this nightmare unfolded, drop a comment and let me know where you are watching from. Hit that like button and subscribe, because what happened next taught me that family is not always who you are born to. Sometimes it is who stands by you when blood turns cold. And trust me, you will want to hear how I fought back. I am Sylvester, 32 years old. Software engineer at a mid-sized tech company in Portland, Oregon. I live alone in a 2-story Victorian I bought 3 years ago for $380,000. The place needed work when I got it, but I have been renovating it slowly. Dark navy blue exterior with white trim, a small front porch where I drink my coffee every morning, and a garden where I grow lavender and rosemary. The Portland market has been good to me. That house is worth about $520,000 now. My life is simple but comfortable. I make $95,000 a year, which goes pretty far when you are single with no debt. I spend my free time playing acoustic guitar, reading science fiction novels, and hiking the trails around Mount Hood on weekends. Nothing exciting, but it is mine. I built it myself. My parents, Harold and Patricia, live up in Seattle, about 2.5 hours by car. Harold is 67, Patricia is 65. Both retired. We were never particularly close, but we stayed in touch. I saw them maybe 2 or 3 times a year. Thanksgiving, Christmas, the occasional birthday dinner. My older brother Garrett is 35. Married to a woman named Lydia. 2 young kids. Growing up, Garrett was always the golden child. Star quarterback in high school. Popular. Everything I was not. I was the weird kid who spent all his time on computers. I felt invisible most of my childhood, but I never held it against anyone. I just worked hard, got a good education, and built my own path. Garrett and I were not particularly close either, but we were cordial. We texted occasionally, saw each other at family gatherings. He seemed happy enough with his life, though he had mentioned money troubles here and there. Just last week I drove up to Seattle for dinner with Mom and Dad. Nothing special. We went to this Italian place they like. Talked about work, the weather, my renovations. Everything felt normal. Mom asked if I was dating anyone. I said no, not at the moment. Dad asked about my job. I told him projects were going well. We split tiramisu for dessert. I hugged them goodbye in the parking lot and drove home, listening to a podcast about Mars exploration. 2 weeks later, Mom called me. Her voice had this strange edge to it. "Are you feeling okay, Sylvester?" "Yeah, why? You seemed distracted at dinner. We are worried about you." I sat on my couch, confused. Distracted, I had been fine. Maybe a little tired from the drive, but nothing unusual. "I am good, Mom." "Really? Just busy with a new project at work." She paused. "If you say so. But honey, if you ever need help, you know, we are here for you." I thanked her and hung up, feeling odd. A few days later, Dad called. Same thing. Asking if I was stressed, if work was overwhelming me, if I needed anything. "Dad, I am fine. Work is good. I promise." His voice got serious. "You know, Sylvester, if you ever need help with anything, managing things, we are here. You do not have to do everything alone." "I am not doing everything alone, Dad. I am doing just fine." After I hung up, I felt this uncomfortable twist in my stomach. Why were they suddenly so concerned I had been living on my own for 10 years? I had a stable job, a mortgage I paid on time, a clean credit score. What had changed? Then Garrett texted me. "Mom and Dad are worried about you." "Everything cool?" I stared at my phone. "Yeah, man, all good. Just busy with work." His response came quickly. "Okay, just checking. They care, you know. That small knot of discomfort in my gut tightened. Something felt wrong, but I could not put my finger on what. A week later, I came home from work to find a large envelope wedged in my front door, official looking. I pulled it out, saw the return address Superior Court of Washington, King County. My heart started pounding before I even opened it. Inside was a legal document about 15 pages thick. The header read, Petition for Guardianship, Incompetency Determination. I scanned down to the names. Petitioners Harold Morrison and Patricia Morrison. Subject Sylvester James Morrison. My vision blurred. I had to read it 3 times before it sank in. My parents were petitioning the court to have me declared mentally incompetent. The allegations were listed in cold, clinical language. The petitioners allege that the subject is unable to manage his personal and financial affairs due to mental incapacity. The subject exhibits erratic behavior, poor judgment, inability to maintain stable employment. The subject has expressed paranoid thoughts and demonstrates patterns of social isolation consistent with deteriorating mental health. I read every word twice. None of it was true, not a single sentence. I had worked at the same company for 5 years with excellent performance reviews. My bank account was healthy. I paid every bill on time. I had friends, hobbies, a normal life. Erratic behavior, paranoid thoughts. Where were they getting this? The hearing was scheduled for 3 weeks from now. I dropped the papers on my kitchen table and sat down hard. My hands were shaking. This was not real. This could not be real. But it was. I grabbed my phone and called my mother. It rang 4 times before she picked up. "Mom, what the hell is this?" "A court petition." Her voice was cold. Flat. "Sylvester, we are doing this for your own good." "My own good. You are trying to have me declared incompetent. You are not well. You do not see it. We have consulted with doctors." "What doctors?" "I have not seen any doctors. You need help managing your life. We can take care of you. It is for the best." "I do not need help. I have a job, a house. I am completely fine." She hung up. I called my dad immediately. He did not answer. I called again. Voicemail. I tried Garrett. He sent a text instead of answering. "Just let them help you, bro. It is for the best." I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me. My entire family had turned against me, and I had no idea why. I spent the rest of the night Googling guardianship laws in Washington state. What I found made my blood run cold. If the court declared me incompetent, my parents would gain complete control over my life. Every decision, every dollar. They could sell my assets, including my house, without my consent. They could decide where I lived, what medical treatment I received, who I could see. I would have no legal standing to object. My house. The thought hit me like a punch. They wanted my house. I scrolled back through my texts, my emails, trying to remember conversations. Last year, Garrett had asked me for a loan. $30,000 to help start some kind of consulting business. I had said no. I did not have that kind of cash sitting around, and honestly, I did not think it was a good investment. He had been upset, but said he understood. Then I remembered something else. At that dinner last week, Dad had mentioned my house. "That house of yours is worth a lot now, is not it?" "Yeah, the market has been good. Garrett could use a place like that." Big family and all. At the time, I had laughed it off as a casual comment, but now I felt sick. They were not worried about my mental health. They wanted my house, and they were willing to destroy my life to get it. The next morning, I called in sick to work and started searching for a lawyer. I found Jennifer Wu, an attorney who specialized in elder law and guardianship cases. Her office was in downtown Portland. I drove there that afternoon. Jennifer was in her mid-40s, sharp-eyed with short black hair and a no-nonsense demeanor. I sat across from her desk and told her everything. She listened without interrupting, taking notes. When I finished, she leaned back in her chair. "This is highly unusual. Guardianship petitions are typically filed for elderly individuals with dementia or adults with severe disabilities. You are clearly competent. Do you have any history of mental illness?" "No, nothing." I have never even seen a therapist. Have you been hospitalized? Any incidents that could be construed as concerning? No. I go to work. I come home. I live a normal life. She tapped her pen on the desk. To win this, they need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you cannot manage your own affairs. That is a high bar. But we need to prepare thoroughly. What do I need to do? First, bring me your financial records. Pay stubs, bank statements, tax returns. Proof that you are financially stable. Second, get letters from your employer, co-workers, anyone who can testify to your competence. Third, I want you to undergo a voluntary psychiatric evaluation. We need a professional opinion on record that you are mentally sound. I nodded, taking mental notes. How much is this going to cost? My retainer is $5,000. If this goes to trial, it could be more. I swallowed hard. That was a chunk of my savings. But what choice did I have? I will get you the money. Over the next 2 weeks, I gathered everything Jennifer asked for. Pay stubs showing consistent income, bank statements with no red flags, performance reviews from my manager calling me an excellent employee and a valuable team member. 3 coworkers wrote letters saying I was reliable, friendly, and completely normal. I also made an appointment with Dr. Alan Feldman, a psychiatrist Jennifer recommended. He spent 2 hours with me asking questions, running cognitive tests, evaluating my mental state. At the end, he looked me straight in the eye and said, "There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are fully competent." I will put that in writing, but I knew we needed more than that. I needed to know what my parents were really planning, so Jennifer hired a private investigator. His name was Marcus. Former cop, built like a linebacker with a calm, methodical way of working. Marcus spent a week digging into Garrett and my parents' finances. What he found was damning. Garrett was drowning in debt. Credit cards maxed out at $80,000, a failed business venture that had cost him $150,000. His mortgage was 3 months behind. He was facing foreclosure. Marcus found emails. He had a contact who knew Lydia Garrett's wife, and she had forwarded some messages to a friend complaining about the situation. Those messages made their way to Marcus. One email from my mother to Garrett. "If we can get guardianship, we can sell Sylvester's house. The equity will be enough to save you." Garrett's response, "I know. I hate doing this to him, but I do not have a choice. My family is going to lose everything." Another email from Mom. "He will not even know what is happening. We will take care of him. He will be fine." I read those words on Marcus's laptop screen and felt something inside me break. They were willing to destroy my life to save Garrett's. Marcus also discovered that my parents had found a doctor willing to testify on their behalf. Dr. Bernard Russo. He had been our family physician when I was a kid, but he had retired years ago. He was a friend of my father's. And apparently he had agreed to write a letter stating that I exhibited concerning behaviors, even though he had not examined me in over a decade. Jennifer read through everything Marcus had gathered. Her expression was grim. "This is fraud, Sylvester. Conspiracy to commit fraud. We can not only defend against this petition, we can counter-sue, and I will make sure the judge knows exactly what they are trying to do." The hearing was set for a Thursday morning. I wore my best suit, a charcoal gray one. I had bought for job interviews years ago. Jennifer met me outside the courthouse. She carried a leather briefcase stuffed with documents. "You ready?" I nodded, even though my hands were shaking. "Let us go win this." The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Wood-paneled walls, fluorescent lights, a raised bench where Judge Margaret Carlisle Saturday. She was a woman in her late 50s with steel-gray hair and a sharp gaze that missed nothing. My parents sat on the other side of the room with their attorney, a man named Thompson. Garrett was there too, looking uncomfortable. None of them would meet my eyes. The hearing began. Thompson presented his case first. He painted a picture of a man spiraling out of control, isolated, paranoid, unable to hold down stable employment. He referenced Dr. Russo's letter calling him a trusted physician who had known me for years. Then Dr. Russo took the stand. He was in his 70s, white-haired, with a kind face that made him look trustworthy. He spoke in a calm, measured tone. I have known Sylvester since he was a child. Over the years, I have noticed a decline in his social functioning. He has become withdrawn, exhibits signs of paranoia, and I have concerns about his ability to manage his affairs responsibly. Jennifer stood up for cross-examination. Her voice was polite but steely. Dr. Russo, when was the last time you examined Sylvester? He hesitated. Well, it has been some time. How long I cannot recall exactly. 5 years, 10 years. He shifted in his seat. Perhaps longer. So you are testifying about a patient you have not examined in over 10 years. I have observed him at family gatherings. Have you conducted any formal evaluation, cognitive tests, psychiatric assessments? No, but based on my professional experience, Jennifer cut him off. Thank you, doctor. No further questions. She turned to Judge Carlisle. Your Honor, we would like to present our evidence. Jennifer methodically laid out everything. My pay stubs, my performance reviews, letters from coworkers, bank statements showing financial stability. Then she called Dr. Feldman to the stand. Dr. Feldman testified clearly and confidently. I conducted a comprehensive psychiatric evaluation of Sylvester Morrison. He shows no signs of mental illness, cognitive impairment, or psychological distress. He is fully capable of managing his personal and financial affairs. There is no medical basis for this guardianship petition. Then Jennifer played her final card. Your Honor, we have obtained evidence that suggests this petition was filed under false pretenses. She handed copies of the emails to the judge and read key excerpts aloud. If we can get guardianship, we can sell Sylvester's house. The equity will be enough to save you. The courtroom went silent. Judge Carlisle looked up, her expression hard. She turned to my parents. Is this true? My mother said nothing. My father stared at his hands. Judge Carlisle's voice was cold. This petition is denied. Furthermore, I am referring this matter to the District Attorney's Office for investigation into potential fraud and conspiracy charges. This hearing is adjourned. The gavel came down. I sat there unable to move. It was over. I had won. But I did not feel victorious. I felt hollow. Jennifer squeezed my shoulder. You did the right thing. I walked out of the courtroom without looking at my parents. Garrett tried to follow me into the hallway. Sylvester, wait. I turned around. My voice came out flat. You wanted to steal my house. To save yourself. I was desperate. My family. We were going to lose everything. Your family. What about me? I am your brother. He opened his mouth but said nothing. Do not contact me again. I walked away. Behind me I heard my mother calling my name. Sylvester, please. I did not stop. The weeks after the hearing were strange. The district attorney opened an investigation into my parents and Dr. Russo for filing a fraudulent petition. I told the DA I did not want to press charges. I did not want to send my own parents to jail, but the relationship was over. I blocked their numbers, deleted their emails, cut off all contact. Garrett lost his house 2 months later. He and Lydia moved into a smaller rental across town. I heard about it through mutual acquaintances. I felt bad for his kids, but I could not bring myself to care about him. I started seeing a therapist, Dr./Rachel Kim, to process everything that had happened. It helped. Slowly, I began to understand that I had spent my entire life trying to earn love from people who were never going to give it. They had always seen me as less important than Garrett, and when he needed something, they were willing to sacrifice me without hesitation. That realization hurt, but it also freed me. I started rebuilding my life, but this time I focused on the people who actually cared about me. My coworker Jamal invited me to go hiking, and I said yes. We started going every other weekend. I got to know my neighbors better. Mrs. DeLuca, the 78-year-old Italian woman who lived next door, started bringing me homemade focaccia every Sunday. She told me once, blood does not make family, love does. I picked up my guitar again and joined a local music group that met every Thursday night. We played folk songs in a community center basement. It was not glamorous, but it felt good. I kept working on my house, too. I painted the living room a soft sage green. It felt like a new beginning. I expanded my garden, planting tomatoes, bell peppers, and basil. Working with my hands, watching things grow, gave me a sense of peace I had not felt in a long time. 6 months after the hearing, I woke up one Saturday morning and realized I felt lighter. The weight I had been carrying my whole life, the need to prove myself, the desire for my parents' approval, it was gone. I did not need them anymore. A year later, I sat on my front porch with a cup of coffee, watching the sunrise paint the sky pink and gold. Mrs. DeLuca waved from her garden. Jamal texted asking if I wanted to hit the trail tomorrow. My phone buzzed with a message from the music group about our next performance. I thought about everything that had happened: the betrayal, the court battle, the loss. But I also thought about what I had gained. I learned that family is not defined by blood. It is defined by who shows up for you, who stands beside you when everything falls apart, who sees you for who you really are and loves you anyway. I learned that your worth is not determined by other people's approval, not even your parents. You do not owe anyone access to your life, your peace, or your home just because you share DNA. I learned that standing up for yourself is not selfish. It is survival. I do not regret cutting my parents out of my life. I do not regret fighting back. They made their choice, and I made mine. I do not hate them. I do not wish them harm. I just feel sorry for them. They chose greed over love. They chose one son over the other, and in doing so they lost both. Garrett and I will probably never speak again. That is okay. Some bridges are supposed to burn. My chosen family, the people who showed up for me when it mattered, they are the ones who matter now. We celebrated my birthday at my house last month. Jamal brought beer. Mrs. DeLuca made her famous lasagna. The music group played acoustic sets in my living room. It was more meaningful than any Thanksgiving or Christmas I ever spent with my blood relatives. I still live in that blue Victorian house, the one my parents tried to take from me. Every morning when I water my garden, I am reminded that I built this life myself, on my own terms, and no one can take that away. This house is not just property. It is proof that I survived, that I fought back, that I won. And that is worth more than any bloodline could ever be. So let me ask you this. Have you ever had to stand up to family? Have you ever had to choose yourself over the people who were supposed to love you? Drop a comment below and share your story. Hit that like button if this resonated with you. Subscribe so you do not miss future stories. And share this video with someone who needs to hear that it is okay to protect yourself, even from family. Thank you for listening. I know these stories are not easy to hear, but I believe in the power of truth. I hope my experience reminds you that you are not alone, and that choosing yourself is never the wrong choice. Take care of yourselves out there. You deserve people who see your worth. And if your family does not build a new one, you are worth it.